Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the University of Dundee Master of Education webinar. My name is Helen, and joining me this afternoon all the way from the university is Marie. Good afternoon to you, Marie.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, and welcome to everyone that has joined us. I can see that there are quite a few attendees with us this afternoon. Welcome. And how we're going to do this webinar is I'm going to introduce Stafford to you very briefly, what we do in the Middle East. And I'm then going to hand you over to Marie, who's going to discuss the program. And right after the webinar presentation, you will see a question box on your right-hand side, and you're very welcome to type in any questions that you may want to ask Marie or myself, and we'll gladly answer those. A lot of your questions may be identical, if not similar, so I will try and group them together, and we'll be able to answer those for you. Okay, so let's get started. Who is Stafford Associates? Well, Stafford Associates was established in 1993, and we are a resource centre for distance learning education in the Middle East. We're currently a resource centre for 5 UK universities, one of which is the University of Dundee. And we do offer a variety of programs ranging from certificates to diplomas, bachelors, MBAs, MEds, MECs, right through until doctorates. So we really do have a program for all your professional needs. And our function here in the Middle East is to provide administrative support as well as academic support, and I'm sure you have been in touch with quite a few of academic consultants, and they are here to assist you throughout the registration process. Okay, I'm now going to hand you over to Marie, and I will join you again at the end of the presentation. Over to you, Marie.
Thank you very much, Helen, for that introduction. Okay, welcome everybody, and welcome to the University of Dundee and the Master of Education programme. I'm Marie Beresford Day. I'm the lecturer in education, but also I am the programme convener and the group lead for any students undertaking their studies via Stafford Associates. So, welcome. Just to give you a little bit of introduction about the University of Dundee and who we are. We make a difference in the real world. We do this by working across subject boundaries and adopting that interdisciplinary approach, team-based, both teaching, learning and research. And this enables staff and students to be able to approach issues in an innovative and challenging and productive ways. This is the only way that we'll be able to solve these previously intractable problems. We adopt an enterprising approach, and this is embedded throughout the curriculum, and this makes our graduates very attractive to employers. We act locally and globally, locally through deep engagement within the city of Dundee and with our partners, but also with our international partners as well. We have students from around the world who we enjoy supporting throughout their studies. And we're a modern university working on those 21st century problems, and again this means that we need to be innovative, we need to be able to respond to change, and that's something that we will bring or try and enhance throughout your studies. So our purpose is really to focus on our efforts within 3 key themes: improving social, cultural and physical well-being, promoting the sustainable use of global resources, and shaping the future through innovative design. You can see there from the list that we frequently placed it high in various education and university rankings, and this is something that we're really proud of, and we continue to maintain those high rankings. So what about the programme itself? Well, just to give you a little bit of a brief overview, although we offer part-time and fast-track study, and this offers flexibility and autonomy, we treat all students equally. So even though you'll be studying at a distance, you'll still have access to all the support as a student who is based on campus. It is a blended learning approach, which means that whilst the majority of the teaching and learning occurs online, there are those opportunities to attend a locally based workshop. We're practice-based, which means that we want you to be able to draw on your experiences within the workplace and then identify how the theory aligns with these or how your practice aligns with the theory. We are recognised by the IB. We have 3 different awards available via the IB. We have students from all sectors of education, so from early years right through to higher education, and like I say, we have students placed globally. So it's very interesting, and hopefully you'll find that if you come onto the programme through discussions with your peers on the modules, that you'll get to see education from different perspectives. And we have a variety of different routes and foci throughout, and I'll go through some of those with you within this presentation. So we are an internationally recognised postgraduate qualification within education, and like I say, we do assist and work with people who are in the early years environment right through to higher education. So why would you consider undertaking an MEd with us? Well, first of all, an MEd does open doors. It's something that's from a report that was carried out back in 2011 by Graham Donaldson. He identified that by carrying out master's level learning, you are gaining skills and attributes that are transferable across a variety of different professions and practices. It's about questioning the status quo, and this not only benefits you as the practitioner, but also those who you're working alongside, from the students, the parents, and the staff who you're working alongside, as well as external partners. So you'll develop a deeper understanding of your educational environment, and through learning how to view this environment with a deeper understanding, like I say, from those different perspectives as well. So as tutors on the programme, we continuously see our students' practice being influenced by their master's level learning. It is a piece of feedback that we get regularly about how much practice has changed for those individuals because of the studies that they've undertaken. So what is the MEd? It's a programme of study that, as I say, brings together the theory and your practice. It encourages you to draw on your experiences and align this with the literature. It enables you to question why we do certain things and whether there are alternative ways to do what we're doing. So how do we know what we need to do, and how do we know why we do the things that we do? What can be changed about those to help students and our pupils progress in their education? The aims of the programme are to support the educator as a reflective practitioner, inquirer and educational researcher, and reflection is very much underpins throughout the whole programme, something for you to be able to reflect on your own practice and then see how this meets the needs of those around you, as well as developing your own skills. So you'll achieve this through reflecting critically, and when we mean critically, we mean in line with the literature, and build on the competences that you have developed in your working life. And that will then enable you to develop your own knowledge and understanding, which will enhance your professional practice. I mentioned that there are various routes and foci throughout the Master of Education programme. And the start of this is really to identify a named award if you decide to come on to the MEd programme. So to obtain that MEd, you are required to complete 180 credits of study. And as I say, we do have the fast track and the part-time options available to you. And also there are various exit points throughout the programme of study, so from postgraduate certificate, postgraduate diploma and the Master of Education. So you could exit with a postgraduate certificate and then return within a 5-year time period to complete the rest of your MEd. There are opportunities for credit exemption on from any previous study that you've undertaken at master's level, and we'll judge these on a case-by-case basis. So what are the named awards? You can see on the screen there that we have the top award of Master of Education in Leading Learning and Teaching. This is what we call our generic award. It is one that gives you lots of opportunity to study different areas or themes within your Master of Education. Then you'll see underneath there that we have a list of different named awards, from strategic educational leadership all the way through to developing mathematical thinking. So these are awards if you want to be seen to be specialised in a specific area of education, which some people do. The named awards are not in bold, that are bulleted there. This means that you will be required to undertake an optional module to meet that named award, and along with including a dissertation that has a focus on that area of the award as well. So for example, if you were studying for a Master of Education in International Education, you would need to undertake the International Education module as an option, but also focus your dissertation on that subject area as well. So here you can see the optional modules. As I said, that these are linked to the named awards, but if you are taking the Leading Learning and Teaching award, then you can choose any of these and you're not bounded by any specific route through. So each of the optional modules enable you to carry out study. These are all at 30 credits, and the assignment will enable you to carry out the assignments without necessarily being in a workplace. We have the 2 routes through, which I'll talk about shortly. And we have, in addition to the optional modules, we have the core modules, reflecting upon practice and research methods, which are 30 credits each, and then we have the double credit, the 60 credit dissertation at the end if you're working through the entire programme. You can see on the screen there that there is a typical route through the MEd, and although this looks very clearly laid out here, there are a number of different options depending on your previous learning and what your career goals are. So these are the sorts of things that you should be talking through with the team at Stafford Associates. As I mentioned, you can exit at the various points there, so the postgraduate diploma or the full MEd, and there is the opportunity to return to us if you exit and then decide to come back and complete the rest of your studies. As I mentioned earlier, that we have approval by the International Baccalaureate for 3 different types of awards. So you can opt for eligibility to obtain one of the IB awards alongside studying for the MEd. You're not expected to carry out any additional assignments for these awards, but there are various routes through, depending on your experience with the IB. So for example, the first certificate there, the certificate in leadership practice, that is for anybody who doesn't have any IB experience or teaching experience. The second one, the Advanced Certificate in Leadership Research, there are two different pathways throughout to obtain eligibility for these, depending on whether you have 3 years teaching experience or not with the IB. Okay, and then finally, we have the Advanced Certificate in Learning and Teaching Research, and for that, the IB requires 3 years teaching experience in an IB school. Okay, you can see a diagram there just to show how these link together. As I say, there's no additional work required for eligibility for the IB routes. However, you do need to be drawing from some of the IB literature, which we will provide you guidance with to underpin your writing. But there's no additional assignment for the IB eligibility. As a student on the MEd programme, we have certain expectations, as you will have certain expectations of us as staff. And the key areas for you are to take responsibility for your own learning. As we said, that the master's level learning does provide you with autonomy within your study. That can feel a little bit uncertain at times for students when they first start out, but that's what we're here for as tutors, to support you through that. So we will also require you to keep in contact with your module tutors. We don't chase you for any deadlines. Sometimes you do get a little bit of a nudge if we haven't heard from you for a while, but it is up to you to identify your deadlines and then identify how you're going to work towards those deadlines. Of course, with support from your tutor. We will expect you to use our up-to-date knowledge of literature throughout your writing and undertake a professional inquiry. So linking your reading and your writing with your workplace or your previous experiences. And then the final expectation is that confidence within the presentation, using the academic writing conventions for evidencing and referencing. And we will support you with this. And again, we have various mechanisms of support across the university to help you. So what can you expect from us? Well, you can expect that you can have email, Skype. I know Skype doesn't always work particularly well for some students. So we have other options for that online communication with your module tutors, such as webinars or virtual drop-in classrooms, similar to what you're experiencing now. Local face-to-face workshops for core modules, so the induction workshop, along with the research workshop. Online learning and teaching, so we provide you with the materials online for you to work through, and there will be activities within those materials which will enable you to collaborate with others and for us to come together as a tutor group. Along with that, we have the Academic Skills Centre, who will offer you support with academic writing, and there will be opportunities for that formative assessment, which will help support you in preparation for the final assessment for the module. Generally, the assessments for the 30 credit modules are a 5,000 word written report, and you'll be given guidance on these. And the dissertation is a 15,000 word research report. Again, support will be provided on those and the means of a supervisor that's allocated to you, and you'll remain with that supervisor throughout your study of the dissertation. The entry requirements for the MEd, as I say, we have the two routes through, the workplace-based and the non-workplace-based. These are generally similar, and the fact that they both need an undergraduate degree, and that can be within any discipline. And if the undergraduate degree was not taught in English, or English isn't your first language, then we will require an IELTS at 6.5 level or equivalent. However, as I say, we have the two routes, and what separates them out is whether you have or whether you are working currently in an educational setting, or whether you have previous experience to draw from but are not necessarily working in a setting at the moment. Because we understand things change throughout your life, so it may be that for some reason that you're taking a break from your workplace. So you can see on the screens there that we have a lot of excellent feedback from our students, which again we pride ourselves on. One of the key areas for feedback is the enhancement of students' practice from their study, but also along with the support that the university, across the university, as well as tutors provide. We have the workshops, and these are, as I say, offered for the core modules, and these are held locally in the UAE. It's a fantastic opportunity to meet with other students as well as some of the tutors. I myself usually come out, and it's a great experience. I enjoy meeting the students, and it's good to hear how things are going for you, and just to have that face-to-face connection. And it's also an opportunity for you to network and to gain an understanding of how to use the systems, the online systems that you require, what the study skills are for master's level learning. And one of the things that comes back from feedback from students who have attended these are that provides them with that greater sense of undertaking master's study, particularly if you've been out of study at this sort of level for a while. Okay, you can see the tuition fees online there, and this is something that you used to discuss with the team at Stafford. Helen, I believe you'll be popping back on perhaps just to give a little bit of information about the tuition fees. But you can see there the deadline as well. Hi Helen, welcome back.
Right, thank you so much, Marie. It was very informative. I have now opened up the questions section, so please feel free to start typing out your questions. And I can see that Anne has already sent us the first question, which is it compulsory to attend the workshops?
No, it's not compulsory. There's no grade reliant on attendance, but the feedback that we receive from students is that it's really benefited their studies in a number of ways, like I say, to make those connections with your peers, but also just to gain an understanding about the different systems, and we know that sets the students up well for the next phase of their studies. So highly recommended, but not compulsory.
Okay, and a question from Ibrahim. How do I know if this degree will be accepted in Canada? Because I do want to move back there.
As a master's degree, master's degrees are recognised worldwide, and this master's degree is no different. As I say, we have students all around the world. As to whether it's accepted, that depends on what area that you're looking at. So I would say to you, if it's a teaching post that you're looking for and you're looking towards a teaching license, then you really do need to be making contact with the relevant government bodies in relation to that, just to see what their requirements are, because everywhere is different. So there's no definite answer around that, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. And Jennifer's question is, are there any class observations, or is the course solely assignment based?
It's solely assignment based. And we do pick up quite a lot of information about your practice through those assignments, because as I say, much of the work is about you reflecting on your practice and then linking that with the theory. So no, there's no teaching observations for this programme.
Okay, and Rukia's question is, can I apply on the basis of my work experience? I'm assuming she does not have the undergraduate degree.
Okay, we do need an undergraduate degree for the master's programme, so his work experience is not something that's considered at this level. But if you don't have that undergraduate degree, what I would say to you is speak to the team at Stafford, because I'm sure they'll have lots of opportunities for and options for you to be able to start your study at the relevant level for you.
Okay, and Kirsten's question is, would there be any module to specify in any specific subject, for example, biology or science?
Not at the moment. It may be something in the future that we'll be having a science module, but that wouldn't break it down to the different sciences such as biology, chemistry and so on. But we do have the specialisations, the named awards for various different things. So we have the Developing Mathematical Thinking, we have the Leadership Awards, International Education and so on. So please have a look at those. But if not, then the Leading Learning Teaching, although it's considered as the generic module, that really is all encompassing, and it is very much favoured by a majority of our students. So there is lots of flexibility within the awards that we offer.
Okay, and Nanise, your question is about the list of courses taught. Please do get in touch with your academic advisor at Stafford. They will definitely be able to give you that list. Okay, and Rukia, will the degree certificate state online distance learning?
No, it won't. It's the same certificate as our on-campus based student. There's absolutely no difference between them.
And is this program recognised worldwide?
It is, as I mentioned, it is a master's program, so yes, it is worldwide.
Okay, and Ibrahim, your question is regarding the fees. Again, do get in touch with us because there is the fast track option, as you have mentioned, and we'll be able to give you the fee structure for that particular tracking. Will there be a supervisor sent from the university that will be able to assess me at any point?
We don't send over tutors or supervisors for assessment. I think that's perhaps similar to the earlier question with the teaching observations. So no, all the assessments are carried out via assignments being submitted online to us. But for dissertation, you are given provided with a supervisor, so that's one-to-one support with your dissertation supervisor. But that's carried out using the electronic means that we have today, so it always works well.
Okay, and Aislinn is currently a home executive. She actually has been a home executive for the last 15 years, but she does have a couple of years work experience as a teacher in India, and she does hold a bachelor degree in computer science. And her question is, will I still be accepted on this program?
Yes, you've got the undergraduate degree there and you have experience to draw from, and that's what we're looking for.
Okay, and Kwalach, do we have an admission test to join this program?
No, definitely not. The team at Stafford there will help you with the application process, and we may come back for some additional information, but there's certainly not a test for admissions.
Absolutely. And Anise, your degree does not have to be specifically in education. It can be from any background. Okay, so do get in touch with us and we'll be able to give you more information on that. Okay, will this qualification help me to qualify as a teacher?
It's not a teaching qualification. However, as I mentioned earlier with the question around Canada, you do need to check with individual governing bodies as to see how much it lends itself to being accepted for teaching, because everywhere is very different, but it doesn't provide you directly with a teaching license.
Okay, and Azra's question is, do I need to do the PGCE first? Or can I go directly to the MEd after my undergraduate degree?
Okay, once you've completed an undergraduate degree, then you can work straight towards the MEd. Some people want to take the postgraduate certificate level first to give them that confidence, and then they decide to continue. But if you decide to go for the full MEd, which we hope that you will, just to see that you're studying all the way through to master's level. But if you decide part of the way through that you need a break for some reason, then we can accommodate that as well. So you could either take a temporary withdrawal, or you could exit and then return to the programme. So again, a lot of flexibility is built into the programme.
Absolutely. And Mohammed, is my degree awarded by the University of Dundee?
It is, yes. We're very proud to award our degree certificates to students around the world. So we like to see that Dundee sticker globally.
Yeah, and can I start with the full-time route and then change to part-time?
Yes, the fast track route, it is quite a demanding route. You need to consider the hours that you'll be working if you are currently working, and perhaps family life around that as well, and identify whether you can fit in approximately 30 hours of study per week for the fast track. For the part-time route, we're looking at approximately 15 hours per week. So if you do start out on fast track and you find it is a little bit too much because it is quite intense, we can then transfer you to the part-time route, but at the end of each semester. It's not something that we would do in the middle of a semester, so in the middle of your study of 2 modules, because otherwise then it causes difficulties about which one you take forward or not. So there is flexibility in there, but there's certain time scales when you can do that.
Excellent. And will this degree aid me in obtaining a position in school administration and not specifically in teaching?
So administration, if you mean along the lines of the leadership and management, then yes, it gives you that knowledge and understanding, a deep level knowledge and understanding that will help you. But also we do, if you're aiming towards the administration side of things, then we do have the named award of strategic educational leader in there, which you may want to consider. But also the generic award is leading, learning, teaching. So leadership is in there a couple of times. So it will definitely help you to work towards that middle or senior leadership.
Absolutely. And very good question from Kirsten. What is the difference between an MEd and an MA, and how would this affect a teaching position within the IB schools?
Both of them are master's degrees, one Master of Arts, the other one Master of Education. Ultimately, they're both master's degrees, and if education is your subject area, there is going to be no difference between the two of them.
Okay, and Kuala, yes, this webinar is recorded, so your Stafford consultant will be able to send you a recording of this. Okay. Are the face-to-face workshops mandatory? I think we've actually covered that one, Marie. Will you help us to reflect critically if we struggle with anything?
Yes, the tutors are there to provide you support. We particularly the workshop, that's the first workshop, that's a great way to get introduced to what we mean by critically reflecting or analysing. That word comes up quite a lot, critically. It's very much part of the workshop, but also throughout your studies, it's something that we help you to deliver. It's not the easiest of the areas to be able to understand, but equally with that support and with guidance of your tutors, then we see how much that develops in students throughout their educational journey with us.
Okay, and the next question is quite a popular one. We do get this quite often. Does the university accept any transfer of credits or any exemptions?
Yes, exemptions are available. We call it RPL, so that's recognition of prior learning. So that prior learning must have taken place within the last 5 years, and it also must be at master's level. If, however, it's already gone to a full master's award, you couldn't repeat that exemption for something else. But yes, if it's master's level and within the last 5 years being obtained, then generally we can accept that. We can accept up to 50% of the award, which is 90 credits, and that's the maximum that the university will allow.
Okay, and how do I get an IB certificate?
Okay, there are the different routes, as I mentioned earlier, depending on whether you have the experience or not. So there is something there available for everybody. But what you need to do is bring the IB into your reading, your thinking and your writing. You're not expected to carry out any additional work for the IB eligibility. When you come onto the programme, you'll be introduced to Wendy, who leads the IB side of things, and she'll ask you to enrol with the IB, and that will give you access to the different IB information and literature and all the notifications that they put out, as well as tutors providing you with some information about the IB as well. So different routes to suit everybody, and obviously the support mechanisms are there from the university as well.
Yeah. And is the IB certificate award only available for the leadership pathway?
You don't have to be signed up to the leadership named award, for example, but if you don't have any IB experience or less than 3 years IB experience, you will need to undertake 2 leadership modules to start with to obtain the leadership practice certificate by the IB. The first of those is my module, the leadership change and organisational development, and then followed by Wendy's module, which is the reflection upon leadership in the IB. So if you have less than 3 years teaching experience, that's the route that you need to take. If you have 3 years or more, then there are alternatives available to you, and you will be expected to draw from your IB experience throughout your work.
Good. And I do hold a PGCE, and will I be credited for that, or does it really also depend on the country from which this PGCE was obtained?
The country in which it's obtained isn't important in our view for credits, but it does need to, like I say, be within the last 5 years, and also it needs to have taken place at master's level, because some places, for example, well, in the UK, we have PG certificates that are carried out at what we call level 10 and level 11, and it's the level 11, the master's level equivalent that we require. So they're the 2 areas that we need. Once they are okay, then you would be able to obtain that credit.
Okay, and Ibrahim's question is, where will the graduation ceremony actually take place?
Takes place here in Dundee. It's a very nice place called the Caird Hall, and you may, if you Google pictures or any other internet search, should I say, for Dundee University graduations, you'll see lots of different pictures in front of this lovely hall, and it takes place in there year on year. It's something that we would really love to see you at, and you've been made very welcome over in Dundee. And Dundee is a beautiful part of the world.
Absolutely. I can attest for that. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Okay. And we do encourage you to go through to your graduation. It's a very prestigious event. Can the fees be paid in an easier installment phase? Please do get in touch with your academic consultants. We do have a very flexible monthly payment options for you. So please do get in touch with us regarding that. Ibrahim's question is, give me a little bit of background about the type of support that tutors will be able to give me. Are they available on a daily basis? How much access would I have to my tutors?
Okay. We are in our workplace Monday to Friday. I know that kind of falls out of sync slightly at the weekend, perhaps with yourselves, but we are available. We try and respond to emails as soon as possible. Tutors are available, like I say, by email. We can arrange one-to-one tutorial sessions, so very similar to the way that the webinar is working now, but it would just be yourself along with the tutor in that space. But we also then offer structured webinars, so that is very much a teaching session where you can come along, collaborate, interact with other students and your tutors. And we also have drop-in sessions as well as the face-to-face workshops. So there is a lot of support available for your tutors. We do encourage you to contact your tutor and to take up that support, because that's one of the things sometimes students can be a little bit shy about doing. So the sooner you make contact, the better that we can support you throughout your studies.
Absolutely. And a question from Ruki. I'm working as a librarian for a school, but can I still join this program?
We would need you to have some teaching experience. So if you have some prior teaching experience, yes, that would be great. If you don't, then what I would suggest is maybe seeking out some voluntary work within the school, so you can get into the classrooms and support the teaching staff in there, because you will need to be reflecting on your experiences within the classroom or within that leadership role that has been built from classroom experience. So if you don't have it, try and get yourself some, but if you do, that's great.
And I see our very last question, Marie, from Mohammed. I have taught for 7 years, but how do I find out if those years are counted as IB years of experience?
It depends whether you've been working in an IB school, and that would be quite obvious. If you have been in an IB school, you're not going to miss that. So as long as there's 3 years worth of experience within those 7 years, then that would be fine. But if not, then you would need to go down the leadership routes to be able to be eligible for the IB awards.
Okay, thank you again. It was wonderful. And one last question from Kuala. Yes, Kuala, your graduation ceremony is at the University of Dundee. If you missed that previous question, definitely go through to Dundee. Okay, and that's all our questions for this afternoon. Again, Marie, thank you so much for joining us. Very informative. To all you that attended, thank you for joining us. We are currently accepting applications for the next cohort. We've got a lot of applicants sending their documents through. Seats are limited, so please do get those application documents to us as soon as possible so we can get that very important unconditional offer for you. Okay, thank you once again, and a good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.